Hello and welcome to the first episode of WNBA Courtside. We have a fantastic first episode for you. We've got a whole host of incredible basketball experts. We've got Nthabiseng, we've got Lethabo, we've got Lockdown K, but we're all ready to talk about the WNBA and the upcoming season. So I'm going to throw over to Nthabiseng first and say, look, Nthabi, thank you for coming on the show. You're going to be a regular. What are you looking forward to seeing this season?
I'm really looking forward to seeing the New York Liberty. I've been a fan for a while. I've honestly been bouncing around between the Sparks and the Liberty because of the first round pick Sabrina coming on board. I'm really excited about seeing them play, and the 7 rookies with them. It feels like a new college team. So I'm super excited to see the New York Liberty going.
They should be good. They should be good and good. And Lee, are you also looking for Sabrina Ionescu, or you got other plans?
I have other plans. Mm-hmm. I'm not as, I don't really jump on the hype train when it comes to rookies. I'm very much on a show me what you got first before I can trust the process. I'm actually looking forward to looking at the Connecticut Suns. I think they had a really good run last year. Obviously, it got derailed by the Washington Mystics. I think it'll be interesting to see what they do now that they don't have Chine.
Well, it's gonna be a heck of a thing to see exactly what they can do. Lockdown K, Kaunda Chama, what are you looking forward to?
I think based on the fact that we met her last year, I want to see what Angel McCoughtry can do at the Aces and be there with one of my favorites, A'ja Wilson. I think they've got and Alex Bentley went there too. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to see what's happening along the Las Vegas Strip. But my LA Sparks though.
Yeah.
Big shout out to the real CP3, Candice Parker. What's up?
You see, the thing for me.
Talking about Alex Bentley, guys. There was something that just came out yesterday. Actually, I don't know if you guys saw, but she's been waived by the Aces.
I actually did see.
Really,
that.
I did not see that.
Word. No, I didn't see that.
She got waived by the Aces because she hasn't been attending training.
Oh, Alex.
To be in the wobble and just be trying to, diss your team.
Chill out.
Yeah. Look, I'm actually also looking forward to the Vegas Aces, but in truth, my all-time favorite player in the WNBA right now is Breanna Stewart. I cannot wait to see Stewart back on court. I mean, oh man, if there's one thing that I'm looking forward to, it's seeing Stewie come back. This is the former MVP, WNBA champion. Mm-hmm. So her and the Storm, this is going to be a really, really good season. Okay, let's get into what we're actually, there's been big news. So obviously the Alex Bentley news is pretty shocking when you think about it, because, the Aces having lost Kelsey Plum and, Liz Cambage just today got her medical exemption, which means she will not be involved in this season at all. So the Aces go from adding Angel McCoughtry, who was going to be a fantastic piece to that team, to now having crickets.
Yeah.
A'ja Wilson's not a cricket.
I think all teams have had to make this kind of... Sorry, go ahead.
No problem. Go for it.
No, I was saying, I think this is such a unique situation and unique time, obviously, in our history, that I think at this point, teams just have to do what they have to do. I mean, even in the NBA, we're not playing under normal conditions, so we can't expect there to be any form of normalcy. So I think everybody just has to put in their best foot forward. And I think what this does give, it's an open court, and like a typical regular season where you kind of have an idea of who can be strong and who can't be. Because there's so many variables happening, I think it really opens up the field a lot more than it would be if it was just a normal season.
No, I agree with that. I mean, look, okay, fine. Kaunda, yes. A'ja Wilson, for me, future MVP, is not a cricket, but it's the pieces around her that really need to be, to be brought forward. And Nthabiseng, do you agree that the Aces might not be where they need to be, or?
See, I was actually, before hearing about Liz Cambage and everything that happened around the Aces, they were the one team that I was super excited to see, because they had all these moving pieces that they got with Angel coming on with her veteranship. I thought they would be an amazing team, and including everybody that's currently on the team. I thought they may be the contenders for the championship, to be fair. But right now, I hear what you're saying, Lethabo, that we're in unprecedented times. But this gives the veterans and the teams that have been working hard and that have been solid. Think about the Raptors, right? As much as I don't want to give them a hype, but they've been a team that's been solid, and they have been together for so long. You look at the Seattle Storm with Sue Bird and everybody; they still quite solid. So I'm thinking that the teams that have been playing together for so long, they will still produce the same results that they have been producing, probably even more, because they've been around each other so much, not just on the court, but just doing life together in the wobble. You know what I mean? So I think it will be an interesting season for sure.
It's interesting nobody's mentioned the Phoenix Suns. I mean, not Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Mercury.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, I was going to go
there
too.
Quite interesting because Kaunda and I were chatting about this the other day, and for him, he's looking at Skylar Diggins-Smith joining the likes of Diana Taurasi and Brittany Griner.
Yikes.
That is an incredible three. That's all. It reminds me of, and I hate to make comparisons with the NBA when it comes to the WNBA, but that reminds me of the end of when LeBron joined the Heat. That you suddenly had this big three that really ripped everything up. And I think that they've got something similar in Phoenix. Kaunda, do you feel the same way?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm a big Skylar fan. I mean, she was great for the Dallas Wings. But when I heard she'd gone over to Arizona, and I was like, wow, Brittany Griner and her. And then you got Diana Taurasi there. And I don't know, is Duana Bona coming back?
I haven't seen much about Duana Bona.
Okay.
And like, this goes back to the whole point of this isn't a regular season. It's not like we're seeing the same.
It's
stuff.
not a regular season.
Yeah, exactly. So there's so many players where you start thinking, well, is this person going to be there? And because there are so many moving parts, you're just not necessarily sure. Like certain teams will have the chemistry, like for instance the LA Sparks, and this is to your point, Nthabiseng. You mentioned about them having played together for a long time. These guys are now they're practically, they should have gelled. The only thing that's happened with the Sparks is primarily a couple of players not being part of the setup. So Chiney is obviously sitting out the season, and that's going to affect them. But Nneka's going to be there. So we've got Nneka, Candace Parker. Anything can happen. One of the things though, I want to actually touch on, right? Do you agree with what Lethabo said about the rookies? Show me what you got, because we've got a great matchup coming up, but I think Sabrina Ionescu is one of those players who's just, there's a reason why the hype's been so big.
Look, Cyrus, and like you said, you hate the comparisons with the NBA and the WNBA, but they're both NBA teams. So I'm going to go in. There's certain times when rookies show out, and I never downplay rookies at all, because I remember doing an interview with an NBA player once and talking to them, because when they first came into the league, they seemed a little cocky. Then I was like, but why were you like that? And then they said, look, when you come into the league, you don't come into the league considering yourself to be second best or third best. When you come into the league, you look at all the other players and you say, I'm here. I've got the right to be here just as much as those other guys. They might beat me on some veteran experience of being here longer than I have. But when it comes to skill set, and we've been doing the preseason preps and all that kind of stuff, we are all, playing at basically, we deserve equal respect. So, I mean, look at Zion Williamson. You look at Ja Morant. And I know Lethabo might come in and say, but when you've got a bunch of rookies, it's different. But look, I mean, they're there because they qualified to be there, right?
Yeah.
They qualified to be there, so they're WNBA professional basketball players. So you never know. Let's see what the Liberty have to offer. I see your hand up, Lee. What's up?
Yes. I mean, the thing is with rookies is that they barely, I mean, as brilliant, as an amazing as they can be, regardless of the, regardless is
a word now.
Regardless of their performance, I think within the first year, it's very difficult to have such that kind of impact that affects the team.
Yeah.
Like you will have great individual performances. I mean, we saw this with Aja Wilson. You can come in every night and score 40, but doesn't matter if your team still at the end doesn't even qualify for the playoffs. So I think that's my reluctancy with rookies and putting like all the hype on them. It's just like, I don't doubt that you can come in and give us a good 40-point performance or whatever. It's just that I don't know what your impact is on the team is going to be quite yet. And it can't be presumed that just because you're there, now all of a sudden the team becomes a contender, because it matters because experience matters in the playoffs. You've seen this time and time and time again. So that's why I don't like. I always say with rookies, I kind of just, I let it happen and then take it from there.
I love that.
Yeah, I feel like rookies will surprise you, right? And I completely hear you. There's rookies that don't make an impact on the team, regardless of how massive their roster is or the power that the roster holds. But when you have people like Sabrina coming on with the kind of experience she had, look at the Oregon team, right? And what she did with the Oregon team. I don't think we should rule out the fact that rookies can make an impact that will impact the team to perform at a level that they need to perform at, especially when they're coming on with a chip on their shoulder, like, the Liberty. They have nothing to lose, right? With the history that we've seen, how the Liberty has done in the past, let's say 2-3 years, I really do think that she's bringing something to the Liberty, as well as the rookies that she has. Whether they go to the playoffs or not, I think they will be a team that we look at and say, you know what, these guys came in young, came in hype, came in happy to perform, and they came to New York. Who doesn't want to play in New York, regardless of how trash other teams are in New York? They can make an impact. So I don't think we should rule the rookies out.
But I agree with you. What's interesting for me in all of this, though, right, is that when you look at it, this is also, we're not just talking about a new player. We're talking about somebody who's hyped as being potentially the next big superstar in this league because of what she's done in college. And she's not joining a New York roster that's, really, really terrible. They just haven't.
She's not joining the Knicks.
Yes. That is true. That is true. Because when you look at some of the people who are on this roster, Kaunda, loving it too much. But you've got players like Kia Nurse who are on this New York team. Amanda Zui B, you've got her in there. So, there's so many different players who can actually put up their hand. But I think that perhaps what we're also doing is we're almost making her Michael Jordan and forgetting that Satu Sabali could be the more influential player when it comes to how things work out. And I was looking at her joining the Dallas Wings. Now, that roster, I mean, I'm a massive, massive fan of Arika Gumbuwale because she...
You got to.
Oh, my word. No fear basketball.
I'm talking about rookie power, though.
Exactly.
That rookie power.
So now she's a second-year player in the league. She's been around for a bit, and she showed that she can play. Now you're adding somebody like Sabali there, who actually has she's not quite a chip on her shoulder, but it's tough being number 2, right? When everybody's like, Sabrina, you'd be like, Sabrina, good. I give her props, but let me show you what I got. And I think that's what's going to happen at the Wings.
It might be like a Trey Luca situation where, like, before the season starts, we have a clear, evident rookie of the year. But as the season goes on, you're like, maybe second pick, maybe.
I love that.
It might be a similar situation.
And I think this is actually a perfect time for us to go into the sort of the matchups for the weekend. So the WNBA season starts this weekend. We've got three games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday. So triple headers on both days.
It's a double triple header, Cyrus.
Triple header. Okay, like ball.
like Bobo or Chama Chama.
Exactly. So on Saturday, we start everything off with the Seattle Storm taking on the New York Liberty. Then you've got the LA Sparks taking on the Phoenix Mercury, and then the Indiana Fever taking on the Washington Mystics. Let's talk about the Storm versus the Liberty. I think that's the key matchup. And what a great way to start. Nthabi, I'm going to hand over to you first, though. Okay. So how do you see that going?
This is a tough one. With Stewie coming back, she's gonna go ham, right? She's been wanting to play for so long. And she's got a wonderful roster, a couple of people playing with her, and you have the New York Liberty with all the rookies that we're talking about coming on board. I think it's going to be an exciting matchup. Now, I don't know how the New York Liberty will do with this first round. As much as it is an exciting matchup, I don't know what, I can't predict the performance honestly from the New York Liberty side, but I will say that the Storm will come in with this whole notion that we want to win a chip this year, because who knows, this might be Sue Bird's last run. We don't know.
16-year
don't put that
vet.
in the universe.
16-year vet. Something tells me.
Don't put that in the universe. Shh.
I mean, I'm sorry. I really do feel like this might be her last run. This might be it. Nobody wants to finish the last season without a championship. So I think Sue Bird is going to come out guns blazing. And I think she's ready to hand over the reins to Stewie and give her the spot of her being the face of the franchise, as she probably deserves.
No, I agree.
She kind of has already, if you think about it. That playoff series, you literally saw kind of like the transfer of leadership. I mean, granted, there were points where you could see Bird was taking over in terms of like what to do, especially with coaching wise, and like what the scenario is. Especially, I think their matchup against the Phoenix Suns. That's where I saw Sue Bird.
The Mercury,
really step up. But you could see it's Brianna's team at this point. It's undeniable.
No, definitely. I'm a mess. But the Sparks, though, guys. So you've got the Sparks taking on the Mercury. That is possibly the game of the weekend.
I was about to say.
That's going to be beautiful.
I mean,
the Sparks, though, aren't they man down? They're 2 men down, right? 2 women down.
Yeah, they've had a couple of I say withdrawals. I mean, because Chine's not going to be there. And I'm trying to think who else is. Yeah,
but they acquired Simone Augustus from
Minnesota.
From the Minnesota Lynx. Yeah. So with that, and they've got Christy Tolliver, who was playing with the Mystics. So there's some veteran experience there that they can draw into. I mean, not forgetting Candace Parker's there.
Oh, Chelsea Gray, guys. I mean,
Yeah, Chelsea Gray. I mean, has there ever been handles and
she got so much fight in her. It's unreal. And
I'm concerned about their scoring though, because you're mentioning people who are good on the defensive end. Chelsea Gray is great off the bench from what I can remember, but I don't think this is not people who can lead an offense.
Well, I think the thing is, she's not necessarily a scoring threat as much as she can be. But I think that when you look at the players, I mean, Candace Parker will probably be the person carrying a lot of the scoring burden, right? But if you're also playing in the low post, Nneka gets in there. She does score a lot of points when they play that kind of ball. I think you're correct in bringing it up, Lee, because I think the major problem they're going to have is a perimeter shooting. I think that's been a key failing of theirs in the last couple of seasons. And don't get me started with Derek Fisher, because I think he's done a good job, but I'm just not sure. He should have done a lot better with that squad that he has. So how are we seeing this going? Lee, who's your money on? Because remember, the Mercury have Skylar,
Diggins, Smith.
I'm really going to trust the system that already exists. I think especially considering that, once again, it's not like they've had like a massive time to like, have an off season where they can prepare, practice together. They haven't had that kind of time to develop some team chemistry.
Yeah.
So that's literally what you're going to do in the season. So I think off the bat, I'm going to trust the Phoenix Mercury. Why do I say Suns? Phoenix Mercury, just off the basis that they've already kind of have a history and they just need to really implement one player. Whereas like with Los Angeles, there's a lot of moving parts that they need to try bring together. I'm going to go Phoenix on this one.
Okay.
I'm an
like
LA
that.
fan. I'll be LA all the way. I believe the sunshine. It never rains in Southern California. Anyway,
so you're saying LA Sparks, Kaunda, in your
LA
own
Sparks
roundabout kind of way.
LA Sparks for the win. Why? Because they're gonna want to shine, and they've got pieces that can make them shine. I know, but Chelsea Gray's assists, they're fantastic. Her plays are gonna be fantastic. I think Candace Parker is ready to take it on. Nneka Ogwumike, she'll get up in there. She'll attack the basket. And I understand that the Mercury are only integrating essentially one starter, but still, I got hope in those Sparks. I can't wait.
So, Nthabi, you agree?
I'm not. No, I'm with Lee on this one.
So Mercury for you guys.
Yes.
See, I must say,
I agree with her. There's only one person that really needs to get accustomed to the team roster and how the team plays. And they still have Diana Taurasi there. So even if Skylar can't perform, or she's still a little rusty with getting acquainted with her teammates, you still have Diana, the OG there. So I don't.
And I think Skylar's going to come in with a point to prove.
Yeah, she will.
Right.
She will. But don't you also want to ask the question, who's the primary ball handler in that team then?
I've been thinking this. I don't think they easily give the ball to Skylar quite yet. No. I think it's going to be something. Maybe they put her at the 2 initially,
and then they put Diana at the 1.
Yeah.
I'm thinking
that could work.
I don't see them just giving the ball over to Skylar like that.
Yeah, I have my reservations with Skylar. As good of a player as she is, there's just some inconsistency that she carries for me personally when she moves around with teams that I can't really get on board with. So she, in her career in the WNBA, for me personally, she hasn't proven to me that she is the leader that we saw her as in college. She can play. I'm not taking that away from her, but I don't know. She still has some convincing to do for me.
Let's move it along a little bit, because our next game on Saturday, and I don't think we're going to spend too much time debating this, is the Indiana Fever taking on the Washington Mystics. Now, you talked about chips on the shoulder. Is there a bigger chip on the shoulder than the one that Elena Delle Donne might have right now, almost being forced to play this season because of the independent medical review board saying, nah, we don't necessarily agree with your doctor's assessment?
Oh, that is so messy. That whole situation is so messy. I don't even know. I was
on a call with WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert last night, and that question came up a couple of times, and she said, look, let's just remember that this is an independent board. It isn't like the WNBA is forcing her. They are obviously in communications with her. She's very upset about it, almost being forced to play. And I think that, that could cause ructions. So having said all of that, do the Mystics beat the Fever?
Yes.
I think so, yeah. They beat the Fever. I think the acquisition of Tina Charles as a big is also, a veteran big also helps them quite a bit there. So even when EDD doesn't feel like putting in 100%, I think Tina can make up for that other additional 10% that she needs to put in. And I think that the Mystics haven't changed much from their previous roster. Right?
No.
Yeah.
And they were solid. It was they're a solid team, and I think the Indiana Fever
just not there yet.
Not quite sure they're there yet to give the Washington Mystics that much of a run. Huh?
But guys, I don't think Tina Charles is playing.
Is playing. Yeah, I think she also.
Yeah.
Oh, is she sidelined?
Yeah. She's also got her medical
exemption.
Ah.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, that could create a bit of a conundrum.
Well, considering that your star player is also kind of like, look, guys, I don't know if I should be here. So this is also why I think that when you look at the Mystics roster on paper, you think, okay, fine, this should beat the Fever any day of the week. But when there are problems with your star player at any team, you're going to be thinking maybe, just maybe, the Fever might just bring a surprise. So are we all going Mystics on this? Despite all those things, or do you think the Fever got a shot?
I'm still going Mystics. I just don't see Indiana is just.
They're not great.
Leaves a lot to be desired. I think this is just more concerning in terms of in season outlook.
Yeah.
Now, if we're talking about what kind of campaign is the Mystics going to have this season, that's where it's going to matter.
Yeah.
I don't know. With this current situation, I don't see them making, like, I don't see them doing a repeat.
Yeah, I don't see it either.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're all in agreement.
Yes, sir.
That means we move on to Sunday. And you got the Connecticut Sun taking on the Minnesota Lynx. Man, those Lynx, wow.
I miss Maya more.
Yeah, I miss her too,
man,
but she's saving
the world. Leave her alone.
Exactly. It's a bit like saying I miss Batman. Like, yeah, Batman was great in your baseball team, but he's got other stuff to take care of.
No, but for real, I think she should have given us, her fans, at least 3 more seasons, and then said,
so you're
look,
saying,
guys,
forget about those guys who are wrongfully incarcerated. We, the basketball fans, are the ones who really need you.
Look.
I mean, there's no way.
But Maya's a baller, though.
Yeah, no,
Maya's a baller, though.
She is. I think the thing is, there's been a major issue with losing Maya Moore, in the sense that, yes, I'm happy for what she's doing. I'm never going to, look at any of the work she's doing in the social justice space as being a bad thing. But where the team, their Minnesota Lynx, are, is a tough place, because they don't really have too many massive stars there. I mean, like Sylvia Falls, she's a good player. She's a good player, but she's not going to drag this team to the championship.
No.
Yeah.
But she was the good 1-2 punch when Maya was there, right?
Exactly.
They had Sylvia, they had Simone, they had Sylvia, they had Simone, and they had Maya. And who's the other one that retired?
Nafisa Collier is you're talking about
I forgot her name.
Their former point guard.
Yeah.
Turned coach.
Wheeler.
Yeah. Yes.
Lindsay Wheeler.
Lindsay Whalen. Lindsay Whalen.
Lindsay Whalen. Yes.
Lindsay Whalen. That's my girl.
When you look at that squad, and then you look at what they've got even on paper right now, it's quite scary.
It's thin.
I mean, big shout out to the fact that they've got they've got the third Ogumike. But
who
that's
won't be there?
Who won't be there?
Yeah. No, I was about to say it's like the Lakers having the other Antetokounmpo, So
it's nice to have your name attached to us. Except the other Antetokounmpo is not going to med school. Hashtag just saying.
That's so
oh my gosh. No, but I think even if they had Maya there, I mean, I think when Maya was there, they were already huffing and puffing. Like you could see the age on that team.
Yeah, I agree.
So I mean, even if Maya was there, like maybe they definitely make the playoffs, but they wouldn't go far, honestly. When there's younger teams, I mean, granted, you still need veteran players, but come on, it just wasn't gonna happen.
No, I agree with you. So are we saying then that maybe the Connecticut Sun might have too much for them this weekend?
Yes, Alyssa Thomas all day.
Yeah,
I'm such an Alyssa Thomas fan. Oh my gosh. Her, Jasmine Thomas, what's the other? Okay, well, China's obviously gone. I mean, come on, they made the finals last year. Like, let's not do that.
But Duana Bonner's there, so,
Is Jonquel Jones playing? I love the grit on Jonquel Jones.
Oh, yes. I love Jonquel Jones.
She's not on the roster.
She's not on the roster.
Didn't she just give birth or something like that?
Yeah. This is what I love about the WNBA. You never hear about that. Didn't Kyrie just give birth? I mean, there are some DNPs for totally different reasons in the WNBA, and that makes it incredible. Because then you have like moms coming back and be like, "Yo, I can still ball," and they will show you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So who we got there? I think the
Connecticut Suns over the Lynx.
I've got the Lynx. Yeah, they got the Lynx.
Okay, cool. Then Chicago Sky, Las Vegas Aces.
Sure.
That's a tough one.
Yeah, because with all that we spoke about the Aces,
and I think this is the thing. The Sky have a chance here because they've got some really, really good players in their roster. When I think about the shooting that they have, right? You've got Courtney Vandersloot there, and oh man,
you got the speed of Diamond the Shields. Allie Quigley, she got that.
Stephanie Dawson.
Yeah, I think
the
Aces have got the work cut out for them, right?
Yeah, it's not going to be I don't think it's a clear-cut win on this one. In my opinion, I don't think. I don't think we could. It's a tough call. So yeah.
You got to make the call. Come on now. Yeah. The fence is not to be sat on.
Somebody go. I don't know.
I've got a feeling that the Sky. I think the Sky might just take this. I like Kayla McBride. Big fan of Angel McCoughtry, and Sugar Rogers at the Aces. But Asia has a heck of a lot to try and do to pick this team up. And when you got players like Big Mama Steph and Stephanie Dawson up against you, and you don't have Liz Cambage, you're really struggling. And so it can become really just a game about who's playing the bigs. And
I think if they had the Cambage piece, it would be a different story.
Because they signed Carolyn Swords as the sort of veteran center. And she's okay, but Stephanie Dawson, she'd take you to town. So that's why I'm saying I think this guy are going to take that one.
But that sounds like you don't have that much confidence in Aya.
Asia
but then
Wilson.
It's going to be the same thing that happened. It was in 2018, the 2018 season, where you literally it's you every night scoring, but the team is just.
And this time she has a team. This time she's got backing. She's got the veteran. She's got the young players with her. So I feel like it's still a little bit balanced. The Aces are still a little bit more balanced all round.
Maybe maybe Angel McCoughtry can do something. But when I look at the likes of think of the inside-outside game that this guy can play, right? You start throwing the ball into Stephanie Dawson. That collapses the defense on her. And then you've got Allie Quigley just sitting there. Courtney Vandersloot also just sitting there. It becomes really tough to see exactly where they're getting both the defense and the offense for the Aces in order to beat this guy. So that's my reasoning anyway.
Okay.
But I'm not trying to convince you. So if you're saying Aces, that's all good.
I'm not saying Aces yet. I haven't made my decision about this one. I know.
The fence is disappearing.
No, you guys are making the reason why I can't just say it. You guys are making good arguments on why it looks like the Sky can make it. They do have great perimeter shooters. They do have great defenders. They do have strong bigs. But I still feel like the Aces have something to prove as well. So I don't know. I'll be.
You're gonna go
I'll
Aces.
Be the one who. Yeah, I'll
that
go
lone standout. And Nthabiseng, you're agreeing. You think this guy's
I just don't see it. They don't have the kind of defense to stop the bleeding. Like, I mean, if it were one thing, if we tit for tat offensively, then I'd be like, okay. But they just don't have the offensive power, and they're not exactly great on defense either. It's just not. It's not a fair matchup.
Okay. Well, look, let's see. They might prove us wrong. I mean, they say never bet against the house, and that is Vegas. So, you never know what you're going to get. But I think the last matchup of the weekend, Dallas Wings taking on the Atlanta Dream, that is a fantastic game because I think there's a lot of young talent that's going to be on show there. Kaunda, I'm going to start with you. Who you got?
man. I looking at the rosters now, I might have to pull in Nthabiseng here for a minute.
So rude. So rude.
He's the rudest.
I'm the rudest. When they say rude boy, they're talking about
they mean him.
Now, look, when I look at what the Atlanta Dream bring to the party, Renee Montgomery, Shakina Strickland, you know, those are players, Tiffany Hayes, those are players that I believe Courtney Williams can bring a lot of energy to the game. These are impressive players, and they put up good numbers. But then again, can I take a minute? Because the Dallas Wings. Look, I'm going to give it to Atlanta.
So you say Atlanta, okay?
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Atlanta just based on and I know our girl Enrique is at the Dallas Wings, right? But what they've got on their roster at the moment, I don't think is enough to shake Atlanta that much.
Look, let's just remember before we go any further, these teams struggled last season. I mean, like the Dream were the bottom of the entire WNBA. Just a couple of places above them were the Wings. Yet, you know, we're still thinking, okay, fine. The Dream might beat the Wings just cause. I mean, I don't know. Lethabo, what is your view on this?
I mean, I do I don't know. I'm slightly leading to Kaunda because I don't know, like Dallas, it just to me doesn't. I don't know. Like my thing with rookies, I just can't put that much faith.
They're a heck of a young team.
To change the culture of an entire franchise. But then the Atlanta Dream aren't that great. They don't have a great track record either. This is what makes it difficult. Like, are you betting on something that's like unfamiliar, but you know, just on paper it looks good, or like, you know, experience? I don't know. I'm confuddled. I'm going Atlanta.
I love it. Okay. And Nthabiseng?
I'm going Atlanta.
Okay.
I'm going Atlanta.
Yeah. And I guess perhaps it's just the weight of experience that Atlanta have, because they've got at least one 7-year vet, one 8-year vet, another 5-year vet, versus nobody who's had more than 4 years experience in Dallas.
Absolutely.
They still have some movement to do. They still have some, you know, settling that they need to do there.
Okay.
These are both not great teams.
Two Atlantas. I love that. But that's what makes it exciting. So two Atlantas. Kaunda on the fence. Are you also Atlanting?
No, I'm Atlanting. That's why
that's 3. I am going in the opposite direction. Okay. I think the Wings are going to take this game. And the reason I say this is because Arike Ogumawale is a beast. And we're chucking Satu Sabali in there as well. Now, I think what I love the most about the WNBA is that it's not like in the NBA where the players have had one season of college basketball and then you're trying to teach them how to play in the pros. These guys have finished 3-4 years in college. They are basically playing at a pro level by the time they get to the league. So the difference in there's not that massive a gulf in terms of what they need to learn in order to play at the highest level. So I feel that in the positions that they have the rookies coming in, Sabali, she's going to have a bit of a rusty start, but I think she's going to start showing them that, you know, she's there to play. And Arike, Guys, we know what she does.
Dude. We can send Strickland after Arike.
Yeah.
We send
all I'm
Renee.
saying is,
come on.
All
now.
I'm saying is, let's
got
not
Tiffany
get it
Hayes.
twisted. Let's not write them off completely.
Your rookies will be looking like the current day Golden State Warriors.
Yes. Yes, I hear the shade. I hear the shade. Fine, that's it. I hear you. You're going Atlanta. I'm going to go Dallas. We'll see who gets the last laugh on this one. But to end it off, because I know we've already spoken about players and things that we're looking forward to, I want to ask you guys all to just give me very, very quickly who you think might end up being the champions. It's going to be a tough call because obviously there's a heck of a lot of basketball to go through. But if you had to do a cursory glance at all of the teams out there, who do you think is the one that says, we're going to be them? I'll start with Lethabo.
Oh, wow. Thanks so much. You know what? Instinct says Seattle. I just think Brianna coming off an injury. Brianna comes off an injury. So does Super. Was Super injured? No.
He did have a bit of an injury. It wasn't major.
Yeah. No, but with Brianna was out for a whole year. You have Jewel Lloyd now. What, in her fifth season now? Mm-hmm. I expect more now. I expect this is the year where charge up. This is the difference between when Steph Curry when she was under Mark Jackson and now Steph Curry and then Curry. I feel like there's a new form we're about to get with her. It's that or Phoenix. Those are my two. Okay,
you can only pick one. But okay.
Seattle okay, first. Cool. Seattle first, Phoenix second.
Nthabiseng.
I'm gonna go with Seattle as well.
Okay.
They are a powerhouse right now. I would have gone Vegas if Liz Cambage was on.
Yeah. I would have been right there with you. I'd have been right there.
I think me as well. Kaunda?
Look, I'm one that doesn't just go against the grain for the sake of it. I'm going with the flow. Seattle looks strong, Cyrus, and
guilty as charged.
A lot of them have been here before, and Stewie's back. Sue Bird, this could be maybe her swan song. Who knows? And they've got such a like your Jordan Canadas, your Jewel Lloyds. It is such a great team. It's got veteran experience. It's got the younger players, and it's a dynamic squad. And I can't fault it. I mean, I'm an LA Sparks fan, but I'm also realistic. At the moment, if somebody was to tell me put your salary on it, which I wouldn't, but I would put it on
hungry kids in the house.
Yeah.
No, but I get you.
Sorry, guys.
But I'm with you on this, and I think that the Seattle Storm really are pretty much the easy money at the moment. Phoenix is definitely a good outside bet. I think for me, the finals could end up being somebody the likes of Seattle versus the Sparks, because I think there's something to be said, as we mentioned earlier, about having consistency, understanding what needs to be done, having experience, and when you've got a couple of MVPs in your roster, certainly goes a long way. Certainly goes a long way. But thanks so much, everybody, for being part of WNBA Courtside. We will be back for another episode next week. So thank you all for being here. Lethabo, Nthabiseng, Lockdown K, Kaunda Chama, and that's it from us.